It's Wednesday, August 9th, 2023 at 2 p.m. We are in the second floor media room of City Hall, and this is the August meeting of the Public Art Committee. Megan, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Christopoulos.
Here.
Mr. Jones.
Here.
Mr. Stackhouse.
Here.
Mr. Toth.
Here.
Ms. Arbitello.
Here.
Ms. McGrath.
Yeah.
Ms. Wood.
Here.
Chair Jennings.
Here. And we have a guest today, Miss Katie Taylor. She's become a regular.
Yay.
Welcome, Katie. Okay. I assume everybody's read the meetings from July 12th. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Graham, a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, thanks, Nick. Is there any discussion, any comments, corrections? Okay. All in favor of accepting the minutes as submitted, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous? Old business, current project updates. The Black Heritage Project, we got some correspondence from Stephen Oliver that also mentions the removal of my favorite acrylic dolphin from the front of the Tourist Information Center to make room for the wayfaring. There, Stephen.
There he is.
Okay, we also have another guest, Stephen Oliver. Okay, so we're just discussing your update,
Okay.
okay? I'm surprised to see you haven't melted. Have you actually been?
I am maintaining
Oh, good,
challenge
okay,
under covered spaces and canopies and strategically,
good, good. I was worried about you.
but you should be. I can tell you more details if you want.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah,
Goodness.
okay, and I see that you made arrangements with Public Works to relocate my favorite acrylic dolphin.
Yes, it's not moved yet, but
Yeah.
hopefully it will be, because I'm.
Stephen,
just
would you
about
come
ready.
up to the
Oh, yes,
mic, please?
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, they've got an alternative space for it. I originally said, oh, maybe you should go to the Public Art Committee, but when Brandon explained that it's a gift to the chamber and all that, and it's chamber office, it made sense. They're going to move it to the other side there. So I think that made a lot of sense. Their judgment was good on that.
Right, yeah, because that wasn't
Yeah.
one of our projects. So, and things are going well at the CAP Center?
Yeah, I got started down there. The 6 initial structural posts are in, and that's why you should worry. That was a good day. Fortunately for the CAP Center, they lent me one of those janitorial buckets with the wheels with water.
Oh, yeah.
Because trucking water, I mean, I considered it, but it would have been a lot of water buckets. I would have load on my vehicle. I have a big vehicle. It was nice to be able to hose up, and then I mixed. So there are 6 posts that are corner posts that are at, each one is 100 pounds of cement, and they're all level and plumb. And I had to actually, it's a very sophisticated site because it's, and then
Right.
it's like, so I had to come up with rigid separation poles. That's what I did instead of measuring and string, so I could just adjust them. Fortunately, the round posts enable, it's like an amoeba. It gives a little bit of flexibility as long as you have those dimensions. So I got that all set. And there are 5 more posts that are going to be intermediate because the spans between those, there's a short one which doesn't require anything intermediate for the gate, but the rest of them are 12, 14, and even 16 feet. So I'm actually putting an intermediate post, even though I have an example of the metal. Even though this is very rugged,
Oh, yeah.
I'm giving it an intermediate for any deflection and for any, I don't want somebody climbing on it and having a, it'll just anchor it really good.
Right.
So that's a 3x2, 3/16 angle.
Yeah,
This is one of 84 pieces.
wow.
They're all cut now. I'm now drilling, and they've got to be drilled really. This is the thing about it. It'll sort of fly together once but you got to be very meticulous about, because you can't make mistakes. So everything aligns and all that stuff. So that's what I'm doing now in the studio. This piece has got a finish on it too. And it's
Yeah, it's got a
metallic
nice-
finish on it. So I just thought, why not just show you. But that's like a piece that's holding the, the angle,
Right.
you know.
Oh, very good.
This is,
That was my next question.
yeah, these are samples from the resin.
Yeah,
They sent me those.
yeah.
And, you know, it's sort of, art comes in handy because with old photographs and hold of a resolution, trying to get them giant. So I think this was an adequate resolution for what, and it, you know, it's got an old sense to it. This is also, you know,
Oh, that's great.
and not just a section, this has actually got a brighter orangish background. I don't know why I wish they had cut it in half and shown me that adjacent, but it's surrounded by a scene, a beach sunset scene. So anyway, that's some of the resin. You can see the thickness of it.
Yeah,
And it's heavy. You can pass this around if you want.
Great.
This is also a piece. This is one of the many pieces. That resin goes onto this frame
right.
with a separation because I don't want condensation behind it, and the whole thing is to breathe. So that little black plastic piece is one of 360 that I'm making. They go in all the behind every picket of the resin.
You really thought this through.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
meticulous, and the anchoring of this. What I've done is, when you're looking at it, I'm using the 3-inch side as a top side so that it doesn't look as blocky from the front. But it's got a lot of strength. I'll let pass this around. But all the anchoring is going to be basically shaded by that. Even though I've got like 316L stainless fasteners, all that stuff is under the shade and out of the water basically and out of sight as much as possible.
That's stainless.
Don't hurt yourself.
Steven, that's stainless?
This is actually that's actually a hot dipped galvanized with an extra zinc coating on top of it.
Can I ask you where you're getting these, where these are being produced?
They're actually a New Hampshire outfit, which was really good. Matter of fact, the finish on that, unlike the other companies, these companies deal with big architectural firms, and they're just used to throwing money around, and it's like, you know. And these, when I started talking to people, I realized that
Hands.
basic matte finish, rather than all the fancy ones I was looking at,
Yeah.
is the one that's most easily restorable.
I know what that's like.
Yeah, that's important.
So it was like, not only that, they were more more reasonable. Not only that, they were not the exorbitant tax lopped on to these $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 like, you know,
Yeah.
bundles. And the shipping, I had options either picking up or shipping for probably a third or less than from Washington State or I think the other place was in Salt Lake City. I was looking at a couple of bids and they were like high.
Yeah.
So that's hot dipped galvanized with an extra coating zinc
Sonia,
painting on top.
Could you just let Katie look at the resin? Thank you.
And then there's another little tricks I'll key you in on. The everything's got a little room to breathe. So those resin panels, they get like a 3/8 hole in them, which 7/16 rather. It's got a rubber, an EPDM plug in it. Through that goes the screw. So I'm not just relying on the company's margin for expansion. I'm actually giving a rubber piece inside that, and then I'm giving some room in the metal itself. And then when that metal hits the screw, each one of the holes that goes through that metal gets a little bit of high temperature grease too. I learned that from a mechanic.
High temperature in Florida?
High temperature grease for like, just like you would put in a bearing of a
Right.
car. I learned it from a mechanic because not only you have the painted coating to protect, but if you got grease in there and you've got it sealed, it's like pretty much impervious to any kind of like,
Yeah,
you know,
well, that's great.
problem. So that's kind of the, some of the detail, you know. And I've been painstakingly going over it because it's like, I cannot make mistakes. Like this separations that I told you about, that was on site. But when I got to cutting the metal, I had to allow for the 3/16 on either side. You know, you have to just be really meticulous. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm working on. I have the, so all those parts are ready, or they're being machined now, drilled and painted, and I'll be installing those. I'm hoping within the next 4 days to get the majority of that structure up and those secondary posts in. The template that I had given you a drawing of. The template for the marina piece is done. And I'm actually picking up a little wood to do the perimeter form work. That won't take very long. It'll be done in another half a day. So I've got everything. I've got the rebar and the reinforcements. Everything is already pre-cut. So when I go down there, I've got a concrete saw. I've got everything. When I go down there, it's basically boom, plug, just start sawing and cleaning and plugging and then the concrete, which I saw Mark on the way in. I tried to get a hold of the person who did the marine concrete. I finally got the number, but then there's no answer. I don't know whether they're going out of business or I think Coastal Marine or something. So I wanted to just, I've done my research on the concrete, but if I talked to the person who did it, I'd know for sure what their mixture was, what a match was, what they did in terms of salt water versus just relying on what I've researched. So
Right.
I'm trying to figure out one detail before, and I want to get somebody to pour that piece. That one, I think it's take maybe about 120 bags of cement.
Oh,
So, getting back to the Union Academy, I picked up I think a dozen of 20, maybe 22 bags to mix, and that was 50 pounds each, lugging them in there through that, mixing them. Actually, that's a nice one because you can actually it's a fast set, so you can actually pour it in. You can water the hole and just pour it in. Very helpful. That one, so anyway, there's a lot. I can do certain things, but this particular, I really need somebody to pour that. I need to set it all up and have somebody pour it, and then I've got the tools to smooth it. Otherwise,
well, this is.
you could
this
be
is-
asking for it, trying to mix that much cement.
Yeah, this is very exciting
heat,
to
yeah,
see that
so-
stuff is actually going
Yeah,
in.
when you get into the weeds of it, it's just, so the template is made, but I discovered the template as I had planned, it was really too bulky to use to both fabricate the sculpture towers on, and so I made the one template for the site, then I did an overlay, smaller one, and drilled right through, so they're perfectly aligned. And that smaller one is what I'm keeping to do the two towers on.
Right.
So that, and then everything is got braces and screws, so everything aligns and it's just, trying to make it so it'll,
As I said, it's very exciting.
yeah, so
Can't wait
it's,
to see it.
Yeah, a lot of water, a lot of, and I got a tent out there. I'll be moving the tent around as I work, because it's just,
Yeah.
I don't know how these guys out here, I just,
No.
I'm pretty rugged, but it's I'm not trying to punish myself.
Oh, no.
And I'll lean into the heat, I'll sweat, and it's good, but it's
Yeah.
just to stand out in that sun.
Oh, I know.
Anyway, any questions or anything else? Oh, I got the contract. I got the contract last week from Diane, but the clerk's office was closed due to COVID.
They
So while I
opened
was here,
yesterday.
I just saw the line outside. So anyway, I got that to deliver after the meeting.
They opened yesterday,
Okay,
so, maybe give it a day or two, let
yeah.
let it calm down a little bit. Would you say, Diane?
Yeah, if there's not a line
Or
or
I could take
anything, I
it
would
to,
just
what's
go
her name?
ahead.
You gave me a woman in the email to take it to as
If
well.
you have it, I'll take it and we'll
That's
make it
perfect.
delivered for
That's
you.
perfect. Sounds good. I'll do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much, Steve. Okay, so that takes care of the Black Heritage Project and the wayfinding sculpture. The Riverside Field Mural Project, Diane, did we get any?
Not
nibbles?
yet. It's just been out for a while. There's the call to artists for you, front and back.
Right.
It is on both projects, both art projects are on the Pinellas Art Alliance website. And I haven't seen the newsletter for the Florida FAPAP, the Florida Public Art Association. But I did submit them a while back, so I'm assuming that it's going to be in their next newsletter.
Right,
And
very
we've,
good.
we've shared it on Facebook and Instagram quite a bit, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping, it was funny because last time we did this, we got most of the proposals at the last 9th hour, which,
Well, that's what happened with the Black Heritage
Yeah,
Project.
so-
Remember, we were waiting for almost 2 months, and then in the last 4 days, we got 14.
we have, till Friday, September 29th, so I think, that's a good amount of time for people to see it and share it.
Right.
And if you all have artist friends, please share our Facebook posts, or, you know, I've got PDFs of this, so you can share it with them as well. And I think now we have a really good offer as far as the compensation and the supply allowance, so I can't see why we wouldn't get some,
Okay,
you
so
know,
it
good
up, that
proposals.
increased? I missed last time, so I'm
Yeah,
trying to.
it's, if you see on here,
Right.
it's all four sides now. It's a kind of a cohesive mural that'll go
Okay.
all the way around
Okay.
and it's 4,000 compensation, and then a hefty allowance for supplies.
Okay.
Yeah, it's $1,000 per wall,
For
so
a
that's,
wall, as if,
yeah.
I guess I'm still confused, because I remember approving B,
Right,
whatever it was.
probably-
But I
probably-
don't remember us putting changes and stipulations on it, and so then, I guess
Probably
last month you'll.
yeah, the easiest thing is just go back and watch the
I watched the
July.
thing. No, I looked at the minutes and I
Yeah,
didn't see
go back and
anything.
look at the July, I think you'll get the full discussion. It's probably the best idea,
Okay.
okay? Okay, Graham, illuminated art boxes.
Well, we're 8 days into the submission period, and we already have enough to be able to fill up the art boxes down
Wow.
at the sponge docks. We have 49 submissions so far.
Great.
Wow.
Wow, that's amazing.
Wow, that's great.
And the quality this year, I'm very pleased to say, is absolutely excellent.
Nice.
I mean, it's been really good before, but it's stellar at the moment. So I'm very, very happy about that, and looking forward to receiving lots more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Think you will.
yeah. Oh, remind me of the deadline, Graham?
Same thing, September 29th.
September
Number 20,
30th.
yeah, okay. So we've got 49 so far. The St. Kate sculpture maintenance.
Yes, I've been in touch with Desmond, and he understands that we need, in fact, I sent him a follow-up email this morning, just because we got a phone call. You know, I've been getting phone calls at the Heritage Museum saying, you know, hey, you know, you guys need to look at the statue, you know, kind of thing. So, you know, let people know that we're on it and everything. And he now has Brandon Crumb's, you know, contact information. I've copied Brandon with everything that I do to Desmond now. And so they're going to coordinate for the guy, I guess, who has the soldering equipment.
Right.
To come bring his truck into the Craig Park to get close to the
Right.
Mermaid, and to do that. So I asked him to give us a definitive date on when that's going to happen.
Great, thank you. Okay, yeah, because we prioritize that.
Yes.
You know,
I'm
the idea
just-
of doing any of this in the heat is just,
Just glad he found somebody that can do it.
yeah, that was a great find. That was really great. Okay, thank you, Diane. Okay, the Peace Pole Project. I met with Mark Licouris, Diane, Robin Sanger from Peace for Tarpon, and Sue Carson and Donna from the Tarpon Springs Rotary. And there was discussion about placement of a peace pole in, near the Splash Park. The pole is a 6-foot-tall concrete pole. It's about this in diameter, you know, inscribed with a, you know, let there be peace, you know, some kind of short phrase. Dunedin has a couple of them, and the poles are being installed nationally. This is not a PAC project. This is a Tarpon Springs Rotary project. Okay. After the meeting, I realized that probably an even better place would be the Boys and Girls Club, also known as Rotary Park, since it is a Rotary project. And everybody seemed to think that that was a good idea. Right now, everything is on hold, waiting for Eddie Hoffman, who's designing the site in general, to come back from vacation. But I thought we may want to discuss an artistic bench or some other small project to supplement, you know, the pole. When we had the workshop, Diane printed out a whole bunch of, you know, the artistic, you know, benches. So I just wanted to get everybody's take on that. Nick, we'll start with you.
You say Eddie's, Hoffman's gonna do
Like-
site work for
Right.
the thing, and where the peace pole will go. I'm just thinking that Eddie might be, since he's got a good eye, as far as letting him perhaps some input on a bench that will, you know, go with, you know, the whole site.
Right,
You know, so it's, you know, has a nice contiguous, you know, look. And
right. Well, this would have to be, you know, something that an artist would design and, you know, fabricate.
Oh, the bench itself, oh, I
Yeah.
see. After, well, I mean, but perhaps with some, again, you know, some input from Eddie, I've worked with him and stuff, and, you know, he has, again, you know, obviously
Right.
a good eye for these things and all, and he can help as far as knowing in his design that he, you know, since it's gotta be fabricated,
Right,
you know, to take that into consideration.
right. But you think that the idea of a bench is a good one? Or do you,
We'll have to see this, you know, the site, the context.
right,
And all, but I mean, sure, if it's, he's doing it, I guess, the sort of garden kind of an
exactly.
area.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, seems where, you know, it would be
Right.
appropriate since we had discussed doing those kinds of, you know, projects at the workshop and all. So.
right. Eva?
Oh, did y'all discuss the Peace Pool last time?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I guess I haven't looked into it enough, but it sounds like, I mean, if it's gonna be a whole place-making situation, it sounds like it would probably be appropriate. But I don't know that I have enough information to have a solid opinion
Okay.
right now.
Well,
but-
right, what I just said is pretty much all
Okay.
there is.
Okay.
You
all
know,
right.
there's, as I said.
I think it's worth looking into, for
Yeah,
sure.
okay. Graham?
I know Mr. Hoffman is an architect. I'm wondering whether he has any credentials that would identify him as a placemaking artist. I don't know, one way or the other, I'm asking.
Yeah, but we're really talking about the type of art that you feel would be appropriate, not necessarily.
I understood from what you said that the place is being made by Mr. Hoffman,
Right.
and we're asked to provide a bench.
Well, it doesn't have to be a bench, that's my point. It's some sort of artistic feature. It could be a landscape feature, it could be, you know, a small sculpture. It could be anything we decide to do. I just want to get you know, the committee's feedback on this whole idea.
Well-
There was one short meeting, right, Diane? I mean, there
Yeah.
wasn't, you know,
Yeah, I kind of think, you know, I agree with Nick as far as, you know, let's just see what their plan is for, I guess, you know, the base of it. You know, kind of like what we went through with the naiads, you know, kind of thing. It could go lots of different directions, so, you know, maybe table it until, you know, we see what his plan is, and then maybe ask, you know, Mr. Hoffman for, you know, if we could have some input, you know,
right.
after
Yeah,
that.
I'm also not really sure about the PAC funding or sponsoring the placement of art pieces on private property. I'm not really
That
comfortable.
was something that I did think about, yeah.
I'm not really comfortable with that, not without getting some sort of advice from someone about maintenance and upkeep
Right.
and so on.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Robert?
I agree with just about what everybody's saying in that Eddie Hoffman's got a design and he's got a vision for this thing, and it's not our project. And, I mean, whether we could have a call for artists and pay a nice little fee for somebody to design a really wonderful bench may not fit in there any better than going down to Home Depot and buying a bench and putting it in there. So, you know, I think we need to wait and see what Eddie wants to do with it. And I agree with Graham. I mean, it may not be our purview to do this.
Exactly. Okay,
So we got to be careful about that in a way, you know, because
right.
we have people encroaching on us, on our decisions sometimes, and then for us to just sort of go off
Right,
onto
well, that's why I
somebody
wanted,
else's
Right.
I really
territory.
wanted to get everybody's feedback, you know, so. Sonia, do you have any thoughts or?
No, I'm in agreement with everybody. I mean, it's difficult to basically come up with an idea when you don't really know exactly what idea he has. And
Right.
it could be a pole. I mean, is it going to be stuck in a flower bed? It's going to have shrubs around it?
Yeah,
or
I mean,
do
the
they gonna
pole
have, like,
itself
put paving
is-
around it.
You know,
You know,
basically,
you know, too little.
you know, it almost looks like the opening scene from 2001. It's just,
Yeah, you know, so I think we need a bit more information.
Oh, sure. Dawn, you have any?
It occurs to me when you're talking about putting something on public land, obviously, that, to me, that's outside our purview, but I think if it's land that the public goes on and can view, then maybe our role is more of an advisory type, saying, hey, you know, we had an idea of other things that we're gonna be doing in the public sphere, and when you're designing, you might keep in mind that, you know, maybe some artistic seating, sculpture that people could sit on, something like that, and just
Right.
putting it out there for them and letting them make the decision if they actually want it, but us
Excellent.
taking a more advisory position on
Okay.
it.
Very good, thank you. I think we're all of a mind on this. Okay, Megan, the budget update and developer contributions? Did we get anything?
No, there's no update from finance, and I know that there's no project, so it'd be just a small interest only. So as of 7/12 was the same, $180,934.25. There are no current project updates still.
Okay,
I wanted to, just two projects that I've seen underway is, if you guys know where Gypsy Air Yoga Studio is on the Safford, on Safford, on the Pinellas Trail. If you're looking at the warehouse to the right of it, is going to be a new, like, townhomes. I remember seeing on a Board of Commissioners meeting,
okay.
and they had a beautiful rendering for what they're gonna build there. And then I also just saw on where the splash park is, to the left, there's those townhomes that kind of overlook the river, and they just tore out a bunch of, tore up the land there that looks like there's gonna be some kind of development,
Right,
whether it's new townhomes.
right, and I saw something on 19, which I determined is in Tarpon, and I know this is something very rare and exotic, but it's a car wash.
No.
Shocking. I mean, I almost drove my car right off the road. A car wash. Anyway, but that's something to keep an eye on, because it looks like there used to be sort of an exotic used car
Yes.
thing
was
there.
there.
Yeah, that's where it's going. It's like right immediately south of CVS.
Another?
Wash all the cars that they
wash.
sold, apparently.
Well, now you have to get the cars clean that are going north.
Yeah, that's
All
true.
the other ones are going
on the south
south,
side.
so, you know, maybe you get the back windshield instead, I don't know. Okay.
Jen, I just wanted to say one quick thing on the virtual tour guide.
Well, we're not there yet.
You skipped.
Yeah,
We've got the CRA mural project,
it's above that too, above that.
budget update and developer
After
contribution.
Peace Bowl. Virtual tour guide.
I have it under new business.
It's
under old business.
Oh, okay.
After Peace Poll,
You have the
before
old,
budget
uh,
update.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. I just have a quick thing. I've got several options that I'm narrowing down. I'm going to put together a spreadsheet, and I'll get that emailed to you to disseminate in the next week and a half or so. And it will have all this has this, and that. These are the costs, this is the growth, you know, what can grow. So it'll be in a spreadsheet form that everybody can take a look at. And I really stink at spreadsheets, so just bear with me.
No, that's fine. I love spreadsheets.
They're not my friends, but I'm going to try and make buddies.
Okay. The only thing I would suggest is, perhaps caption the photographs. You identify the
We're not on
people.
that
We're not,
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I was on the plane
You're
with
talking about the
Biba.
brochure. I was talking about the virtual tour.
Right, I was on the plane with Biba, I'm sorry.
But I'm done, so we can
Okay.
move on now.
Okay,
The brochure.
okay. Okay, okay. Well, anyway, so we got the budget update. Any applications for the CRA murals?
there's some in the hopper, but nothing to bring to the Public Art Committee yet.
Okay, that's good to hear at least. Okay, now review of the PAC brochure.
Okay.
Now we're here. I just landed.
So let me just start off by saying initially, I kind of made up all this text. I pulled it from other places and to some extent pulled from the old one, put some of the newer images in there. I did put kind of particularly on the inside one, from the illuminated art box, I don't know the information for that, so I would need input unless we want to use a different one. I pulled those from
Right.
from your, the PowerPoint that you presented. So any change in images or words, that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Yeah, you have the recent accomplishments and then the photographs, but I was kind of looking, I don't know whether it would be overkill to repeat the, you have the, the cat and Pete, and then you have the picture with all of us. But it
No.
just
On
lists
the
who's
front?
there. Yeah.
It's not all of us,
Most of us.
It's many of us.
Many of us.
many of us, yeah.
And if you fold it, you can see that the recent accomplishments is kind of,
Right,
what people are
okay.
gonna read before they flip it all open. So that's why I put that there. If we want something else there, we can have less text about it. We could have small pictures with them,
Right.
whatever you want. And I did notice that the cover image, I use that because number one, I think it's really cool. It has both the cat and Pete the Pelican.
Right.
It's kind of the most recent that we've got, but totally open to whatever imagery. Like I said, I pulled these images from stuff that I had for the ad, and stuff from the PowerPoint. So any other imagery that we want on there, wide open.
Right. Diane?
We go down and get everybody's opinion, but I'll start with it. I don't really think that we should have a picture of us on the cover. I think we need to put more images. I think, you did a great job, Dawn. I think it needs to have more pictures of our major installations, and maybe text, maybe a little bit more condensed, so that's just my opinion, but everybody else. And I can provide you with high-res
Okay.
photos.
And when I was putting this together, I realized that I wasn't exactly sure what action we want people to take when we see this. So do we want volunteers? Do we want people to go and enjoy the artwork? Do we want to, increase the funding or participation that we get? Like, what is the main goal of it? Because that really will depend, that will drive what's in here. So I was pretty much just promoting the idea of the public art program, and that's the text that I used in here. But if we want to promote, hey, go around town and see these, then a more diverse grouping of pictures of the projects that
Right,
we have
right.
or the artwork that we have would be more appropriate. So, that's really, that'll be the driver.
Right. Nick, how do you feel? Start with you again.
For
Yeah.
sure. I mean, I agree that what I'd like to see, perhaps the mermaid, and then our different pieces, the Glenda, Goodacre and the, those are, the bronzes are, what I
Right.
like the naiads and things. So,
Okay, Viva?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a little text heavy. I agree. I wasn't thrilled with the picture of us on the front, but I also, design wise, I have to say, it's weird to me that I have to go like this. Like, I feel like it's more intuitive to open it up and have like columns rather than having to go like this. That feels strange to me. And that might lend itself to more of a, more images too. But yeah, I think people are more visual now rather than reading. People don't like to read anymore, unfortunately. It's just how it is.
Absolutely true.
So I think, the more visual information that we can give them about what we do is probably, more important than too much text.
Yeah, I think substitute some more pictures of the pieces. Diane?
I'm sorry. I think it's the heat that's gotten to me. I thought to myself, I was thinking in my head, I could have a Barbie doll photobombing all of our sculptures.
Diane's an artist and she doesn't know.
I was just getting this visual. I had to share.
We're gonna incorporate bombing,
random,
we're gonna make it Barbenheimer.
See, you triggered me. I never owned a Barbie doll.
So, So you expect me to follow that?
Yes,
Wow.
That's why you're sitting there.
that's right.
So, FYI, Dawn.
Yes.
The picture that you chose from the illuminated art boxes, I can provide you with a very high quality image there, as high as you want. And that one is Strength by Elizabeth Coachman. And if you're unsure of the spelling, I can spell it out for you.
M-A-N, yeah.
But it is, without doubt, my absolute favorite of all of the ones down there.
Yeah, I thought it was stunning.
Yeah,
Right.
it is. Meanwhile, there's a typo up here, but it doesn't matter since
Okay.
you're going to change all the text.
Yeah. So, okay, I'll just
My
go
name
ahead.
is
I'll
spelled
wait till-
But yeah, I don't have Beaver's problem with changing orientation because my phone does that to me all the time.
It's true. My name is spelled wrong, though.
Is it?
The U goes before the L.
Okay, Robert, comments?
When I look at this, you know, and I'm wandering around and I pick this thing up, I don't care who we look like. I mean, I don't care who's on the committee. I don't, you know, that's not worth to me, the front page of the
Okay.
thing. What I do like, in story time, I like the fact you have people in it. So there's engagement. So you don't have just a static piece of art. You know, however, you know, difficult that might be to get a photograph to work for it. But, you know, it works, it gives it scale, it gives it a kind of sense of engagement, that people are actually interacting with it rather than just seeing it as this isolated object. But that's my basic take.
Yeah, I think somewhere, I may have it in my files, this, somebody bicycled all the way up from Dunedin to see her image in one of the art boxes, and she's sort of on her bicycle and pointing up to the art box. That would,
Yeah,
that would be
that'd be
okay.
perfect. You know, that kind of a thing, I think, really spreads it out beyond just
Right.
a few pictures that way.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even though they're not doing anything, they're just standing there looking back at us.
Well, they repaired it. That
I
was
kind of like the geezers with Sylvester and the pelican too, you know?
Yeah.
the geezers. Speak for yourself. Okay, Sonia?
I agree about us on the front here. I don't think we need to be on the front. I mean, I like the photograph as well because, I don't know, it just looks like a neat photo. But I was thinking maybe something like that mural that we have at East Harpen. You know which one I'm talking about? That nice one that shows the sponge docks and the whole thingy. It's on the corner of East Harpen.
That's not our project.
Oh, is that not even?
That
not
was a
even
Christopher Still,
We've got the Elizabeth Indianos mural, which is fantastic.
yeah, we could
Yeah.
use some of that.
Okay, but well, then just the idea. I thought
Right,
one of
right.
our nice murals would actually look nice. And
Right.
then also it took me a little, because I folded mine the wrong way around. So I was like, oh, okay, this is also throwing me a little bit, but I can do this.
Sorry, bunch today. I think we're all fried.
It's also, it's like, you know, it's like flipping your phone and you go, oops, okay, there we go. We're on the same page now. But I agree about putting more photographs because I agree a lot of people don't like reading. And one, I do have a question. So, for example, the story time thingy that we have. This photograph is excellent. I like that as well. But are we going to put an address? Is that going to be on this QR code thing? So if somebody sees this brochure and they go, "Oh, that is cute. I want to see Sylvester the cat," and it's at the Sponge Docks. Oh, maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe that's not a good example. But I was thinking, is all of this just going to be what's happening at the Sponge Docks?
Right, I mean, that is,
Okay.
the other consideration is what we want this brochure to do is to drive people to go and see the artwork, then,
Right.
you know, this is the absolute wrong execution of that. That said, we would probably need a lot more space to show all of them, and that's kind of what our virtual tour guide and all that kind of stuff is for. So maybe what we could do is just do, instead of doing a trifold, just do a single two-sided panel saying, you know,
Card, yeah.
yeah, and saying, you know, Public Art Committee is doing blah, 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 have a bunch of, like a collage of images on the back, have one big image on the front, and then a QR code to our website, and then hopefully
great.
sooner rather than later, we'll have our virtual tour that then we can direct people to.
Right.
Well, you could also have the QR code go to a landing page on the website under the public art banner, and you can have a map on there with, you know, the locations of each and the addresses, you know.
Right.
Make a thumbnail
Right.
of each one.
Well, and my hope is that the virtual tour guide, that's gonna be part of it. The ones that I'm looking at, I have discounted any ones that don't offer that. Like, a lot of them have an app, you can do the app, but they don't have a web thing. And so my hope is to have something that integrates like that, that we will have a landing page through this thing to send them to. We don't have it right now, so maybe just a placard saying something about saying it's coming soon, or, you know, get out there and look for stuff and,
Right.
you know, something like that, so.
That sounds like a great idea, Dawn.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because this kind of just reminds me that this is just the sponge docs, and we have so much to offer. Mm-hmm. So that'll be nice.
Yeah, good
Stephen
idea.
has installed, we'll have even more.
That's right.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so, maybe after the meeting, I can get with you about maybe a central location for all the graphics.
Yeah,
Maybe we can have a Dropbox or something like that where, can access them. Perfect,
Okay.
I will do that.
Okay, finally, Miss Katie. Okay, the Dorset Park. Katie mentioned something at a Board of Commissioners meeting about doing some upgrades to Dorset Park. And when I was at the meet and greet on Saturday, I was talking to Roxy Grubel, who's the president of the Garden Club, and they're also planning a project for Dorset Park. So it might be nice to, you know, touch base with all of the, you know, different people involved. Katie, would you like to take the lectern and sell us on your project?
Well, I did meet with two other ladies in the community. We spoke to Mr. Function, and he, the same pictures I showed y'all, he's looking into trying to get some of the little seating, the little seat with this, you know, rocky thing. He's trying to have that put in, and they already ordered the what is it, the what is it, the gym thing that you walk, slide.
Yeah, right,
The
slide, yeah.
public slide, they already ordered that. We're asking, I kind of asked for a splash park, but that's kind of way down the line, but it's not off the table. It's just finding a place for it. But we'd ask them also to renovate the concession stand in that area. And I was gonna ask the art committee about, like, Sylvester putting some things on him so the kids can ride him. But you mentioned benches, because I noticed that they do have a bench out there, but it's kind of blah. You
Yeah.
know? So if that's something that maybe the art committee can look at is seating
Right.
that has different characters, you know, for children and sayings and things.
Right.
And also if they renovate the concession stand, if that ever come about, then maybe something can be done there, like a mural
Right.
of some sort. So that's
Yeah.
kind of where we're at with that. So as we progress, then we'll find out more what the art committee can do. Is that how it's going to work?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, you know, this is something that's brand new to us, so. The other thing that occurred to me occurred to me too late because I got to Diane when she was practically walking in the door. We had a workshop a couple of months ago, and one of the other things that's done is, you know, and it can be done with different materials, you could even do it with paint, but, you know, like these little pathways the kids can play on or follow, and maybe even some classic old games like hopscotch and, you know, I mean, those things were, at least I enjoyed them when I was, you know, King Arthur's Court.
Well, you can,
Yes.
you can also do mosaic stepping stones like that in the
Right.
the pattern of a hopscotch.
Right,
You know?
yeah, so that's another thing to consider.
Now, would that be out of the art council budget or the
The
city?
mosaic, yeah.
Yeah, the mosaic is something we could do.
Okay, because on some of the rides, like the little swing that they're talking about getting, I did ask them for some, something to go on the ground, and can I show it to you?
Sure, if you can, yeah.
It's like a rubber, but it's colorful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
It's like a mat. It's like like to cushion the kids so
I've
that they
seen
don't
that,
get
yeah.
hurt, yeah.
Are they the interlocking ones?
Right,
Yeah.
kind of like a rope, tar and stuff that they're colored.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah,
did
it's
say
not
that
the interlocking,
they
it's
can't
the
do this,
board.
they cannot do this over the whole park because it's too expensive.
Yeah, it is very
But it's
expensive.
So he's
rubber,
gonna
so
do
the
it, right now, he's gonna do it,
themselves.
it's one of the new rides that they put in for the kids to sit on.
Right.
And we're just taking, we're scheduled for another meeting, but as we go to the next one, we'll find out more about that.
Great. Okay, well, just, you know,
Joan?
yes?
Can I-
Sorry, Diane.
Yeah,
Diane?
I was just gonna say, one idea that just came to mind, Katie, you're very involved in the community and everything, and with the churches and all, it's like, it might be a neat idea to do like a fundraiser for Dorset Park, that maybe, could maybe raise some money that would supplement, kind of thing, all that we're doing. Also would ask you that, if there are other people involved, like the Garden Club, or even our Public Works people and what they're doing, just to keep us in the loop on what they're doing so we can coordinate, so we don't try to plan something and then find out that the Garden Club's gonna put a big garden there or something like
Right.
that,
Yeah, because this is
So-
the first I'm hearing about the garden club, so if I can get that.
Yeah, well,
person
I just find
contact-
out about it Saturday,
Yeah.
so that's why I needed I didn't have a way to get a hold of you, but,
I was
I
in
figured.
Kentucky.
A layout or a plan of the area so that we could kind of maybe know what areas are,
And they did mention that they're
On the
gonna be
top of
moving
grant.
things. I think they're gonna be relocating the cops and kids to a new administrative building when they get that situated.
Oh,
That's
okay.
probably years down the line though.
right?
Yeah.
Because we kind of need a community center up there as well. But if they had a splash park, imagine if they had a splash park, they can utilize that concession stand by having it open during the hours of the splash park and sell hot dogs, hamburgers,
Right.
drinks and things, so it can be self-sufficient,
Right.
basically. But that's
Yeah.
kind of a thing too. But I like the fundraising idea if we can.
just,
try to
Yeah,
work
just
on
as a
that.
supplement, Graham.
Have you heard any more about the plans to move the dumpster area over to the other side of the road?
No, they still talking about that.
Oh, okay,
They haven't
thank you.
gotten that depth.
When you showed me the blue material, that would be, since it's so bright and colorful, that would be a really neat way to incorporate an artistic path that kids could follow. And it wouldn't just have to be all blue, but we could just have, like I don't want to say, we don't want a mandala, but, something artistic that we could, have an artist put together for us that is a kind of path, and we could use that to just add a lot of color to it and still keep it safe for kids to play on.
Right.
'Cause this had little goldfish. They were yellow,
Oh,
yellow
cute.
goldfish that was all over the place.
As long as we don't
So, yeah.
mistake it for a rainbow path, because I believe those are banned in Florida.
Oh, well,
Oh, no.
Rainbows are a beautiful thing. When you look up at the sky, God
They
made
are.
that, so, hey.
well, we could probably get a map of Dorset Park
Yeah, I was
from the
thinking,
city.
yeah, it would be helpful
So,
to have a
yeah,
layout.
To see what the layout is now.
Right.
And see what it's gonna become,
Right,
because we don't
that
know
too.
yet.
Yeah.
Right. Who have you been dealing with in the city? Tom Funchen?
Mr. Funchen.
Okay, so maybe we can, Diane, maybe you could send Tom an email and tell him that, we had this meeting and that we'd like to be included, with Katie on, the plans for Dorset Park. And I'll get Roxy's information from the Garden Club. And
That would be great,
you
yeah.
can end up with a really cool park.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and depending on, how much space there is and the other things that are incorporated, that might be a place where we could incorporate the artistic seating that we were talking about for Rotary.
Right.
About the Grow Group, I don't know what their
I'm
mission-
sorry?
The Grow Group, I don't know what their.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know too much about them, but.
And, if you're gonna build a new community center, you said, or
So
possibly?
that would be something that would be great,
Oh,
to
okay.
have, because I don't know if they're even using that building all the way east of it or right across from.
That might be a great place for murals and stuff too, you know.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're utilizing that building, but if they don't, what are they using it for? If it's just
Right.
holding chairs, it could be used for people, things for kids to be done. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely need to invest in the youth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Graham?
Is the chair going to continue as the contact point on this, or are you going to ask for volunteers from the committee?
I'll guess for volunteers from the committee. Anybody want to network with Katie?
I will, yeah.
Okay, Nick? Katie, Nick, Katie.
Yeah.
We're,
Schoolmate.
we're classmates. so we'll
Ah, okay.
know you.
All right, the truth will out.
He's my
I would
cousin.
jump in, but I've got a full plate with my other things, but
Yeah.
maybe once I take care of those, then I could, it seems like a longer term project than what
Yes.
I'm doing, so.
Right, and I'm always here, you know, so
Yeah.
if you need anything from me at any time, you know, we're here to serve, so.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that. So next time we meet, I'll have met. and-
Trade phone numbers after the meeting.
Okay. And I'll make sure, Joan, if that's Leslie that you call me, is that Leslie?
Oh, that's my, I'm on a family plan with my daughter, just changed I'm sorry.
So if you get one from Stephen, that's my son.
Okay.
Name's Stephen.
It's nice when the kids take care of their parents, right?
Thanks, Katie.
Okay, that's a real departure when the kid pays your phone bill instead of the other way around. Okay, right.
I gotta
Okay.
figure out how to get that done.
Right? I was like, can I get there, please?
Okay, Diane and Megan, staff comments.
Yeah, we just launched our new 2023-2024 season. I think you've probably, if you are on Facebook or Instagram, you've probably seen us splashed all over the place. We're very excited. We are starting to sell tickets to the membership, and we have our kickoff gala fun 60s party on August 19th, 1 to 4. Hope y'all can come. Also wanted to let you know that we're kicking off the season with a new exhibition at the Cultural Center with Elizabeth Indianos. It's curated by Lynn Whitelaw. And we have a series of public events. You know, it's going to be open for a couple days a week starting in September, but we're also going to have a private invitation-only reception, opening reception for it, and you all will be getting an invitation to that. So very excited about it. It's coming together really well. We're also doing a renovation of the theater at the Cultural Center, and so that's going to be something in progress with all the exciting things that we've got going on there. And we're also going to be getting new flooring on the first floor of the Cultural Center. So between everything going on, we'll get all that done. Right? So we're really busy and very excited.
Yeah. The brochure looks great, by the way. It's really very eye-catching.
Thank you.
Megan, anything from? No? Okay, public comments? I think we've,
I have a quick one.
okay.
After they have it.
Oh, committee, I'm sorry. Yes, committee
Yeah,
comments.
I just wanted
Okay.
to say that for the signal boxes, I have sent an email to Creative Pinellas. They work closely with Pinellas County to do the program. I was wrong, we're not getting one in Tarpon, we're getting one right by Tarpon. But they've got those listed out, but it seems like an initiative that they're doing, so I've emailed a general for more information, asking for a contact there and for a meeting time to just get some information about how us as a committee might be able to add to their efforts.
Right.
So I haven't heard back anything yet, but that is in the works.
Right, I did see somewhere, possibly on Facebook, that somebody was painting one of the boxes at the corner of Klosterman and
Alternate
19?
19.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Palm Harbor one. It's on the Palm Harbor side. Yeah, that's the one through that program.
Okay, Sonia, anything?
No.
Come on. Where's your painting gonna be displayed?
Oh, you want me to? Oh, okay.
No,
I
it's
was-
your painting. Go ahead.
I just have two of my paintings up at the Guild at the moment with the Things with Wings exhibition. And I think we have a reception this coming Saturday from 5 to 7. If you just want to come pop in and just see, there's some really, really nice pieces. So that's happening, and I'm just busy with a lot of commissions and stuff, so
Good.
it's going well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's about it.
Robert?
I'm having surgery. And after that,
I don't know if we have any.
I'll be able to do a lot more stuff, which I could report on.
Right, okay.
And we have a lot of projects, 3 of them leading up, through a couple of years. So typical of all that.
Right. Great. Graham?
Just want to remind committee members that even though they are personally not allowed to enter anything into the illuminated art boxes, I'm sure they have friends who are artists who can enter things, okay?
Yeah.
And the other thing is I noticed that they're throwing up this, or starting to throw up this building next door. Are we involved in the, in that in any way in terms of getting some artistic flair to it
Yeah,
or to its
absolutely.
content?
Absolutely.
We are?
It's a little premature right now, but it's definitely on my radar screen,
Okay.
because the time to do it is now.
Yes. Yeah, before they actually pour.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say paw.
No.
Okay, Viva?
I have no comment. I'm still landing. I'm in my initial descent.
Nick?
I don't really have anything to really add. I'm waiting for a phone call to go see how they're gonna repair that mermaid. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
You know, I wanna learn something, so I don't.
I have a question for Graham. For the, as far as the artist friends that we can send the invitation to for the illuminated art boxes. I've got a couple of local friends. I've also got a friend over in the Orlando area. Is that too far away for what we're doing here?
Absolutely not.
Okay. He's a fantastic watercolor
There's
artist. He's just amazing, so.
The location requirement for the people who send stuff in is there isn't one.
Okay,
They just have to like something about Tarpon Springs and to
Okay.
do a piece that would be appropriate for Tarpon Springs.
Right, and it's
Okay.
all anonymous, so.
Perfect.
Yeah, the process for selecting the pieces is completely anonymized.
great.
All that the selection committee, which is the public art committee, gets to see is a smallish, 6 per page, I think we're doing them, or maybe 4 per page, images with a name of the image.
Okay,
That's
Great.
it.
okay.
So, but this year, I think I'm also going to put the media on there as well.
I know.
Because some of the media is interesting. For the first time, we've got an image of some pieces that were house paint on reclaimed wood,
Oh, nice.
which is, you know, a little different.
Did
Right.
it translate
Yeah,
into the photograph?
yeah, it did.
Yeah, the first round, we had somebody submitted a ceramic piece, and also a couple of sculptures, which didn't make the cut.
Okay.
But, you know, that's the other thing, it's,
You know a ceramicist, too.
right, yeah, because, you know, they're images of something, it's not the object itself, so
Yeah.
it could be
Yeah.
anything really, it's not restricted to any two-dimensional art.
Right.
And the other thing too is, I'm just going to say this as a point of interest. Very often we get contacted from people who want to know if they can get the images from the art boxes. And the whole concept behind this is that I usually process the images, you know, crop them and put a border around them. And they go to a printer who prints them on a decal that are adhered to a clear vinyl panel. So what happens is when that run is over, they can take the vinyl panels out, remove the decal from the vinyl, and we reuse the vinyl. So there's really nothing to give anybody. And
Right.
sometimes, you know, that's a little hard for people to wrap their,
Fungible art, fungible.
yeah, it's a
Right.
fungible.
NFTs, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Do we have a mechanism where they can be put in touch with the artist if the artist
Yes, there's
sells?
a catalog online,
Okay.
and the numbers that are on the images on the lampposts they're the same number in the catalog, and it gives them the contact information for the artist.
Perfect.
Right, they're numbered in no particular order either.
Yeah. One more thing. One of the images that's hanging up at the moment is actually a photograph of a stained glass panel.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, that's one of the selections from last year.
Nice. I dabbled in that. That's not easy to do.
Yeah.
No,
Stained
no.
glass is hard.
No, it's very pretty. It was also very expensive if you wanted to buy it.
Yeah. That's because it's a lot of work and it's
Yes.
dangerous work.
Yeah.
Well, other than running to doctors, I haven't really been doing too much. But, okay, I'm adjourning the meeting. It's 3:00 on the nose. Very productive, everybody.
Very nice.
And thank you, Stephen and Katie.